Freaky gangster Sean P. Diddy Combs has gotten everything he's been asking for the past 30 years. Street cred and jail time.
They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
KY, stop going up.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well that we recovered 3 AR-15s.
What up, world? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep sending those cash apps to CLBMG. I appreciate you, gang. Diddy has been trying to be the thug that we all love since Biggie was around. Diddy has been trying to be the Suge Knight of the East Coast since Tupac was around. Diddy has been allowed to move with 0 complications for over 30 years. Diddy has been moving like a freaky gangster, and he's been wanting you to know he's been moving like a freaky gangster for 30 years. But what happens to freaky gangsters is they end up getting arrested and end up getting to jail. A lot of people from back in my era, in them 90s, a lot of them, if they didn't get smoked, they ended up in prison, right? I'm talking about the street thugs, the street hoods, right? The dudes that really was about that life. Diddy obviously was not about that life. Diddy obviously went to Howard University. Diddy was a man on campus. Diddy was not that kind of guy. But right now, Diddy just got indicted as if he was that kind of guy. Imagine being in your 50s and you're getting your home raided like you're a kingpin drug dealer. Imagine being in your 50s and they got your kids handcuffed while they search your home and remove videotapes, electronic evidence, 3 AR-15s with the serial number scratched off, drum magazines with 59 bullets in it, 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubrication, right? All this evidence that you're beating, abusing, blackmailing people. Any of these, just in and of themselves, are charges that could get you 15 to 30 years in prison. He has multiple charges. This is like they just raided Al Capone, right? They just raided like Noriega's house. Like Diddy was living like the embodiment of someone who could not be touched. This is all ego. This is all ego. What in the world do you need 3 AR-15s with no serial number on them? If I got caught with just one of those, I'm cooked. It's nothing to talk about. I'm cooked. Sir, place your hands behind your back. That's it. I'm cooked. So Diddy having 3 of those means he thought, first of all, he wished you would run up in that house, right? He wished you would, first of all. But second of all, you're not supposed to have no drum. You definitely ain't supposed to have no AR-15 with no serial number on it. You know why you're not supposed to have that? Because they can't trace that gun. When you can't trace a gun, that means the gun could have bodies on it. It could have killed 14 people for all they know. You have no way of knowing. Once you alter it, as they say, they can alter the marks on when the bullet comes out. They can alter it so when it comes out, it doesn't read like it used to read. You understand? They call it defaced. They were defaced. That means they were changed in some kind of way. That can make it where they can't link that bullet or that gun to different crimes. You're not supposed to have weapons like that. I think Diddy has been operating with immunity for so long, he forgot that he actually had to abide by the law. And he had a lot of powerful people in his corner, a lot of powerful people doing the same stuff that he's doing. We're going to get into that later. I'm not going to touch all the powerful people above Diddy right now because that's still developing. There's a lot of names that we can get into later, right? But right now, we're just going to stay on Diddy. I think Diddy started to believe that gangster image, right? They said Diddy had multiple narcotics, which he was pumping these girls with. He's indicted for prostitution, which means he's selling girls. or paying girls to have sex in these so-called freak-offs, right? These freak-offs wasn't free, bro. It sounded like them freak-offs cost a lot of money, a lot of baby oil flying around, a lot of lube, a lot of pills being popped, a lot of alcohol, right? A lot of scared people in them freak-offs. The freak-offs sound fun at first till you realize some of them people didn't want to be in them freak-offs, right? Some of them people was forced to be in them freak-offs. Or Diddy was going to hit you, hurt you, blackmail you, send out the video of you doing whatever in the last freak-off, right? And he maintained all them videos. That's why they have them. That's why they have them. There's a lot of theories about some of them freak-offs tapes not going to ever see the light of day. But we gonna get, like I said, we're going to get into that later about who's on what tape and why the tape ain't going to be seeing the light of day no time soon or ever, right? But let's just keep it on Diddy. I think Diddy let the worst of his impulses out because he has been doing what he wanted to do. Now, just imagine. Let's imagine if you put $1 million on Tupac's head, paid the $1 million. The $1 million never even made it to the man who killed them, but they killed him anyway, right? They killed him anyway, and you got him off of your back, and you never were a suspect, and they could never trace it back to you. Right there's the makings of a monster, right? You stood up to Suge Knight, the industry boogeyman, the industry bully. And one of his men got killed behind it. You got to understand what Diddy was dealing with in the 90s. This dude was a monster. He was dealing with monsters. He became a monster. So I think he started to believe, I am a monster. Right? I am a Puff Daddy, this and that, that. He became a monster trying to deal with the monsters. You got to think, if you're in New York, you know how many monsters you're dealing with? Not just of your own making, of your own race. You got to deal with the mobsters. You got to deal with the Italians, right? You got to deal with the Russians. You got to deal with all kind of people trying to get a piece of that bag. And you're going to either be fooled, handing out money to everybody, or you can become a monster. And I think Diddy became a monster. But after he didn't need to be a monster no more, he liked being a monster. Guns, drugs, women, right? Assault, forcibly making people do what you want them to do, right? Flying people here and there in your private jets. He was untouchable. But people don't understand, Diddy was just on the Breakfast Club not even, 9-10 months ago, with us saying that he had the hottest album of 2023. Y'all remember that album? Remember Love? Right? Remember all the little drama with Carisha? Oh, Carisha don't know. Like, he got another baby coming. This the last of his words right now, that new baby. Right? Not too long ago, Diddy was still untouchable. He was on the Breakfast Club kikiing and laughing about with Charlamagne, talking about his album. This was not even a year ago. He didn't pay Cassie that money, which he should have did. Had he paid her the money before the lawsuit dropped, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because nobody believed Diddy was wrong. Everybody knew something was funky. Everybody knew that Diddy had some weird proclivities, right? We knew that Diddy had some funny stories about things he was doing at these parties, but no one had any real evidence. No one had any real footage of these parties. It was all conjecture, and it was all just conversation until the Cassie lawsuit. Then everything became real. Then somebody who I believe was the FBI dropped that video footage of him kicking her and throwing her and pulling her by the hair, and then it got real. Then it got real. Then they were talking indictments, right? They were talking trafficking. They were talking lengthy sentences. It became real. And within 6 months of him being raided, here we are. Diddy's trying to pay a $50 million bond. He's asking the court, can I give you guys $50 million in assets? But you know what? In that indictment, they're trying to take all of those assets. They're trying to strip Diddy of everything. You don't understand. What they're trying to do to Diddy is make him completely broke. They're trying to say if he did any of these crimes in any of those properties, they're taking the property. They're trying to take all of his homes. They're trying to take all of his property or everything, all of his money, all of his assets. You saw he had to sell off everything he was a part of. I'm sure some couple hidden things, and these guys put money overseas. They put money in Amsterdam or where little Sweden places, little places. They put money, they stash money. So he's going to have money stashed around. It's going to be hard to get at it, though. Can't leave the country to get it. it's gonna be difficult to move it through the wires and da-da-da. But he's got money, right? He's okay, a little bit low-key, right? But this is a man that's being taken down because of his ego. Diddy did not understand he could be got. And there are people bigger than you that can take you down when you want to. Now, a lot of people say when Diddy tried to partner with that company, that is the distributor of his, it was the distributor of his vodka, the Ciroc, that when he came on and called them racist and said they were using unfair business practices because they were going to make him a partner, and then they changed their mind for whatever reason, they didn't want to partner with Diddy, and he went rogue and started blasting them. They were bigger than him. And they got more connects than you. And they got more money than you. And they know more about you than you probably remember, because you got all this baby oil and you rubbing all this lube all over the place. Right? And 1,000 bottles of baby oil so you can take it to every hotel. Like, come on, bro. Like, really, dog? Dead ass? You know how long one bottle of baby oil lasts me? Years. A bottle of baby oil lasts me years. One bottle. A bottle of baby oil. I do not need 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Right? How much? What's going on, bro? 1,000? I saw 50 talking about 1,000 bottles of lube. I was like, what is he talking about? I didn't even get the joke until I saw the affidavit. Now, what's going on, right? Diddy should have ran. I'm just going to be honest. With what's coming down the pipeline, I don't know why Diddy's here. I have no idea why Diddy didn't run 4-5 months ago. I don't know what's going on. And they're saying they maybe wouldn't let him. I don't believe that. I believe Diddy thought he was going to be bigger than this whole thing. He allegedly went to New York to turn himself in. For some reason, it was supposed to be the day after, but they rushed him in the hotel lobby the day before he's supposed to turn himself in because something undisclosed occurred and they wanted to grab him. I think Diddy tried to run, but he waited too long. I don't know if it hit him at the last minute, in the middle of the night. I got to go turn myself in tomorrow or whatever, and I might not get back out when I turn myself in. And he tried to put this makeshift plan of running together. Diddy, bro, listen, you should have did what Russell Simmons did. I really don't know. I think that Diddy thinks he's just too big to be arrested. He's too big to fail. I think his ego is where we are. And the reason why he wants to be this freaky gangster is because he loves that feeling. He's a narcissist. He loves the feeling of control, screaming and yelling on people, being the man. We've seen Diddy yelling and screaming for years, right? I don't know why he wants to be a gangster when he doesn't have to be a gangster anymore. I'm just being honest. At this point, it wouldn't make any sense to try to do anything to Diddy. There's already rumors of him being an informant, which I don't know how deep that goes, right? We'll see how far that goes. It would make sense for Diddy. Look at Whitey Bulger. It would make sense for Diddy to be an informant. That's a layer of protection around you. As soon as dudes come up trying to extort you, whatever, you're going to go tell your handler. And they're going to handle that because you are an informant. They have to protect you. So it would make sense that he is an informant. But he's not informant enough because what's going on now, they're after him. They're on him. They're on him. They're on his sons as well. Diddy has made himself a target because he was reckless and he talked a lot of stuff about the wrong people. And not to mention, he didn't cover his tracks very well because he kept all of his electronic evidence, right? And he still has these people flying with him on these jets, bringing drugs and going here and there, even after he was too hot to do it. Not to mention, he does people extremely dirty. Look at Kim Porter. Look at Cassie. Look at his assistant. Your assistant, if anybody is taken care of well, it's your assistant. That's the guy that is going to be number one on the what do you need list. Because you can't have him snitching on you, which is exactly what he's doing. Right? Diddy is walking down a path that is self-destruction. Diddy's cooked. But we've been saying this for months, but now he's really cooked. And what is happening now with Diddy is we're seeing a man that is understanding now that it's over. When you see his demeanor, he looks like a broken man. But I really believe that he thinks he's going to buy his way out of this. I really believe he thinks he's going to buy his way out of this. I don't know how much time they're going to give him, but he's going to get some time. Now, is he going to get out on this $50 million bond he's proposing? I don't know. If he tried to run, he's not. So I don't know if he tried to run. I don't know what went on. But a man with 3 AR-15s with defaced magazines or whatever had you, that's a man that's in a lot of trouble. Just on for that. They didn't even put the stuff about the underage people in the affidavit, allegedly. It's 14 pages, right? So allegedly the stuff about the underage people, maybe that's later, I don't know. But allegedly that stuff not in there for some reason. We'll talk about that later. But let me know what you think. Diddy is a freaky ass gangster? Or is he just a spoiled college kid that's playing a role? I think it's a little bit of both. At some point, the role becomes the man. If I play a gangster for 15 years and I do everything gangsters do, I have the drugs, the alcohol, the wild parties, I'm videotaping everybody, blackmailing them. I got guns with big magazines, wishing you would. As sooner or later, I am a gangster. I'm just sorry to tell you. I can be pretending all that time, but at some point, I am a gangster and I get jail time, and that's what I wanted. So I think Diddy may some kind of weird way thinks this is bigging up his street cred, which nobody cares about street cred no more in 2024. Somebody smart people, right? Smart people. We used to care about it in the 90s, early 2000s. Right now, street cred is nothing. That's mud. That's Troy Ave. That's Troy Ave right now, right? Street cred, right? That's tax stone, street cred stuff. Like, we don't do stuff for street. Don't pull our guns for street cred trying to be cool in the streets. You understand? It's different now. We trying to be smart and level up, right? Get the reparations we deserve. Like all kind of other stuff that's bigger than street cred in the hood. Let me know what you think. CLBMG. Let me know in the comments if you think that Diddy's done. He's going to do life in prison, or he's going to weasel out of this and snitch on somebody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, share the video. I appreciate you, gang. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.